Newsmax Health Deputy Editor Nick Tate is here with us in South Florida. And waiting patiently at Newsmax New York, Dr. Richard Amerling. Dr. Amerling, earlier you said that a travel ban was, quote, nonsensical. Or no, that the lack of a travel ban was nonsensical. That is an important amendment to offer. How so, sir?
Well, unless you control this disease at its source, we're going to continue to see the occasional case get through. And we shouldn't have to. And there are easy ways to do this. And I think this idea of consolidating the screening into certain airports is a step in the right direction. But unless they're prepared to quarantine people, I don't think it's going to be effective, because people may certainly not be symptomatic but still have been exposed to the virus. They are not going to be able to do rapid testing for Ebola. So better to just restrict people from who are coming from these areas. And if the government won't do it, and they may not, because this is a government that doesn't like to admit that it made a mistake, but if more cases come through, they're going to be either forced to do something, or, as I wrote in my article, the airlines may take it upon themselves to not fly people from these countries, because it's going to be putting their crew and their passengers at some risk.
20 seconds here. Let me ask you about that, Nick Tate. Do you think the airlines will finally, given what's happening to them on Wall Street, do as Dr. Amerling suggests if the government doesn't step in?
I don't think so. I mean, this is a baby step toward what we need to do. Why are we taking the risk? We're heading into flu season. Why are we looking at the prospects of more cases coming in? That a fuller travel ban needs to be implemented in the minds of many health experts.
Nick Tate here in South Florida, Dr. Richard Amerling there at Newsmax New York. Gentlemen, we thank you very much for your time, and we hope to visit with you again. Let's switch to the ultimate oxymoron, political science, the upcoming midterms. Right now, our Newsmax election team takes a look at the race for governor in Arkansas in this preview.
Asa Hutchinson may be GOP governor number 8. According to the polls, his lead over Democratic challenger Mike Ross is getting more comfortable. Democrats know they're in trouble in a state where they once dominated for more than a century, so they're relying on one of the state's most popular governors to rally the vote, former President Bill Clinton. Ross actually worked as Clinton's driver back when he was running for his second term as governor. But Ross is going to need something more than an old connection to a popular politician to pull out a victory. Voters are going to have to like what he's bringing to the table on key issues like raising the minimum wage and creating jobs. Ross wants to give voters an opportunity to weigh in on a wage increase, while Hutchinson says that's a job for the state legislature. When it comes to jobs, both are adamant creating them will be their #1 priority. Hutchinson believes the way to do that is with a tax cut for the middle class and an emphasis on workforce training. Ross wants to revamp the tax code and cut red tape and regulations in order to attract new businesses. If Hutchinson pulls out a win, it will be a win for the history books, because then, for the first time ever, Republicans would control Arkansas's top office and the legislature.
So we heard from our Newsmax news team there that Bill Clinton has weighed in. Also, Arkansas's current governor, Democrat Mike Beebe, has reached his term limit and cannot run again, but he is on the campaign trail, stumping for his fellow Democrat Mike Ross. Go to Newsmax.com as we continue to count down to the midterms, and be sure to join us here on Newsmax TV on election night for our special live coverage of the midterms. You Decide 2014.